Hello there everybody, Sam's Trains here, welcome back to the railway, and it is that time of year again when I'm going to attempt at least to document my entire collection. So today's video is one that I make every single year, partly of course for your entertainment, but also for my own entertainment, because I just love to look back over the years and see how my collection has changed over time. And quite interestingly, this will be the 6th year that I have done this, and in fact all 6 videos are available, so you can look back yourself if you want to. If you really want to laugh, I will include a link up there to the 2014 collection video, which was the first one I did. It's quite embarrassing actually, because my voice sounds really weird. I didn't know half of the engine classes and the other half I got wrong, so it's worth a watch if you want to know how bad I was back then, although having said that, I'm probably not that much better today. However, last year I did this video and it was quite long. The collection had grown so much that it actually went on for over 30 minutes, and I thought, you know what, this is a little bit boring, isn't it? So today I've decided, well this year I've decided to split it up into 3 videos. Today we're going to be looking at steam locos, which I know a lot of people will be pleased about. Or rather, we're going to be looking at the shelves. There are some diesels on the shelves as well, but mostly steam on there. So no smart Alex saying, oh, that's a diesel. I know, but it's just, you know, easier to do it by shelf rather than trying to get all the diesels together or whatever. So today it's steam. Next time we'll do diesels, and then also we'll do some rolling stock, and that's going to be a challenge in itself. So let's get to it. If I get any of them wrong, please let me know, and let's find out how many there are and see how things have changed. So today, for a change, I thought we would start over here to begin with. Now, I'm going in completely cold. I've not looked any of these up, so it really will be a pure test of my memory. So let's see how we go. In fact, there's a few that I know I've probably forgotten on here. So let's start on the right-hand side then. So we have the Brill Trolley, very nice. We have the Hatton's P-Class. We have the Sentinel from, not Oxford, but Model Rail, there we go. Another model rail actually right next to it, made by Bachmann this time, not Dapol. That's the USA Dock Tank. The 2 Hornby Peckett tank engines, which are superb. We have the H-Class tank engine, which is also superb. We have the Railway Children pannier tank there. We have the Janus Shunter. I think that's a Wabash, I don't never know how to say that. It's a Mahano Pacific anyway. This one was that the Fairburn tank? Yeah, that's the Fairburn tank. Another Mahano Pacific, same thing, different livery. Then we have the, is that the Small Prairie? That's the 4575 then, isn't it? I can't quite tell. Let me have a look. Is that the Small Prairie? Yep, that is the Small Prairie. I think it is the 4575 then. B4, that's Cairn, there we go, or Cain, I think we say it, I'm not sure. Then we have that horrendous Bachmann USA Prairie, which is, well, the less said about that, the better, put it that way. Then we have the Barclay 060 from Electrotren, owned by Hornby, of course. The Oxford N7, not likely to forget that one in a hurry. We have the Midland 1F, the 56XX by Bachmann, and the new Hornby Terrier. Then just behind there, you might just be able to see we have the P-Class again in the SECR green. Then we have the build your own loco body, that is just a body. Can you see that back there? That is in fact the Wickham trolley, just there, very tiny, you would miss it almost, in fact I nearly did. J72 I think, and the J94, that's a DJM loco. There. Okay, next shelf, left-hand side then, we have Stephenson's Rocket, which is very lovely. We have the S&D JR 3F next to that. Then the 14XX from Hornby, the Andrew Barclay 040 from Hatton's, the new Peckett B2 around the back there, from Hornby obviously. Then the Great Western one with the lined green is the Colic class. Yeah, forget the number of the Colic class, someone will let me know, I'm sure. Then we have the Princess Royal there. Ooh, what's that one? Is that I'm going to guess a B3, I think. I forget that one. If anyone knows, let me know. Of course I do know, but I've just forgotten in the heat of the moment. We have the Bullard Pacific next to that. That one will be the Battle of Britain, or the West Country class. It's the Light Pacific, obviously. Then we have another Princess, this time in the maroon. A Princess Coronation, unstreamlined, of course. Then we have the P2 Cock of the North. Yes, everyone loves that name, I'm sure. Then we have another Bullard Pacific, this time the Merchant Navy though, which is the slightly larger one. Another Merchant Navy next to that, Bibby Line. We have Canadian Pacific and Bibby Line. Then we have another Coronation. I think that one was Duchess of Rutland, maybe. 2 Tornadoes, they're the same loco, both of those. Yep, they're both the same model, both the same running number, both the same name, just different liveries, of course. Then we have the Hornby 8F 280 Freight Loco. We have the N15 Sir Levine, and then the Hornby Fowler 4P Tank, which is also quite a nice engine. Looking a little bit cramped then on the top shelf, we have Thomas and Friends. There they are. Right, let's see if I can remember all these names. So, Emily, Henry, Gordon, Donald, Douglas, Bill and Ben, one's in front of the other. We have James, Edward, Spencer, Oliver, Thomas himself, of course, Backman, Backman Duck, Backman Mavis, Backman Harry and Bert, Backman Toby, Hornby Thomas, Backman Edward, Backman Rosie, Backman James. Behind there, you can just see the top of his sort of funnel there. We have the Hornby Percy, some other tenders, and I think that's everybody. Have I missed anyone? I don't think so. No, it's just Percy back there and some tenders. The next shelf then contains some of the larger Steamies. There we go. So we have the Coronation class on the left. We have the Baltimore and Ohio. No, that's the Baltimore and Ohio, isn't it? I think so. Union Pacific or something like that, 440, I forget. That's the Camelback, of course. That's not right, is it? Yes, it is. Yeah, it is. It is the Baltimore and Ohio. 2 more Coronations, as you can see. We have the Backman C1. That looks like the Thompson 01, if I'm not much mistaken. Yes, I think it is. We have Booklaw, which is an A3 in the gloss, as you can see. Very, very nice. An A4, that one's Golden Eagle. I believe we have another A3. Now, which one's that? Yes, that's Booklaw. That's the Woolwinder. Yes, I got those two mixed up. Same class, of course. Mallard, obviously, we've got the Tango, the Helgen Tango. The Hogwarts Express, Hogwarts Castle, literally a castle class as well. It's incorrect. It should be a hull, but it's a castle. But, yep, I don't suppose we ought to open up that old wound. Now, that is a difficult one. Is this in the LNER livery? Right, if that's in the LNER, then that is the... It's not the 8K, is it? It might have earlier been an 8K. Hang on. It's the Robinson 04. There we go. Please do let me know if that's incorrect. Easier one, this, the S&DJR 7F. We have Henry, who is a bit too big to fit on the Thomas shelf with his tender, which is why he's there. We have the B1, that's the Hornby B1, the Backman Crab in maroon, more crabs coming up later. Oh, now this is going to be very awkward because these are all identical looking, aren't they? So I'm going to go slightly to the side and we'll have a look. So that's Earl of St. Germans, which is a castle class. That one's Adderley Hall, which is a hall class. I know this one, that's definitely a king. That one is probably a king as well. Yep, that's King George. I'm trying to get this in shot. That's a Grange, I can tell that because it's weathered. I reckon this is probably the Star, let me see. British Monarch, yep, that is a Star. The next one is also a hall class. That's WP Allen, which is either an A1 or an A2. I'm going to guess that's the A1 and that's the A2. I could have got those mixed up, but they're the Backman Pacifics anyway. Then we have the Class 8, Standard Class 8, Unique, Duke of Gloucester. A P2 again, Cock of the North, that's the one with TTS sound. And then we have Camelford there. I think that one's Camelford, which is another West Country class. Okay, on the shelf above that, do excuse me if my voice sounds odd again, it's because my head's pressed up against the ceiling. So we have the Royal Scot by Mainline, the rebuilt Patriot by Mainline, 2 4300 locos or 43XXs, the Dead Gandhi Dancer, which is a bit of a shame obviously, 2 800 class just there, the Bullied Q1, the Manor class, whoop whoop, the N class there, that is Lord Nelson next to it. Next to that we have the J39, I think that one probably is. We have the V3, a B12, Backman B1, an earlier one. 2 more A4s, that is Silverlink and Golden Eagle once again I think. Oh, sorry, 3 A4s, we've got Sir Nigel Gresley next to that. Another B12, I think another B1 next to that, which is also made by Backman. Then we have a D49, and right on the end, almost tipping off the end actually, just adjust that slightly, we have a Midland Compound, the original Hornby one. Okay, let's get some vintage locos under our belt then, and this is the Triang shelf, which probably hasn't changed a great deal since last year, but there might be 1 or 2 new additions for all I can remember. So starting on the right, we have 3 Coronations, there we go, all in different liveries. Then we have 1, 2, 3, 4 Bullied Pacifics, all with different names. There's Winston Churchill, Fighter Command, something Squadron. Yes, without looking, I probably couldn't tell you, and I was a bit foolish to try, because I think I've just spouted a load of rubbish. Then we have 4 again, yep, 4 princesses, Princess Victoria, we've got Princess Elizabeth, which I think might be that one or that one, I'm not too sure. 2 of them are Victoria, at least, I'll tell you that, I know that's right. Yeah, lots of groups of 4, in fact. We have 4 hall classes there, which is Hagley Hall, Albert Hall, Nella Hall, no, not Nella Hall, yes, Nella Hall, and Lord Westwood, which was fictional, and that's the red one, of course. It looks a bit like the Hogwarts Express. So we're breaking off the trend now of having 4 of each because we're going down to 2. We have 2 Britannias, we have Owen Glendower and Britannia himself or herself. Owen is the one with the slightly gloss finish and Britannia is the matte one. Then we have 3 Flying Scotsmen, they're all A3 Flying Scotsmen in the sort of Doncaster green, a slightly lighter green, and the BR green next to that. 2 N15s, we have the original Sir Dinadan, and then to the left of it another Sir Dinadan, but it's been painted into a very, very plain wartime black, which is nice. And then we have a B12, once again, another lovely B12 next to that. Behind it, yet another B12, that's the LNER wartime black B12, which is lovely. 2 of the Hiawatha Pacifics at the back there. Let me just make sure this is in focus. The Turbo Motive, which is not an original Triang design, it's based on a princess, but someone converted it. Then we have one of the standard tanks, it's a standard 4, I think. 2 of the Drummond single wheelers from the Caledonian Railway, in fact 3, because there's the maroon one next to it. Lord of the Isles there, which is a Dean single, I think it is. An LMS 2P next to that, that's this one. There we go. 2 more LMS Class 2s, I think they are. Yes, they are. The IBAC Class 2s, that's right. Another Lord of the Isles, curiously. A J83, I think. I reckon that could be wrong. I always forget that one. We'll see that again later on. A Ginty next to that. Ooh, I'm hoping I'm going to get these in focus okay. Yep, Ginty next to that. An L1 or 2 L1s next to that. We have the Southern one and the BR one. The 2 deep red engines here are the Johnson/Dealey 3Fs from the Midland Railway. Then we have, there should be 3. Oh yeah, there are 3 pannier tanks. We have the London Transport one and then 2 Great Western Green ones just there. We have another Ginty. I forgot I had that. It's becoming a problem, isn't it, this? Yeah, another Ginty. That one's BR Black. Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's the BR Black one. And that over there is an LMS lined one. Then we have 3 M7s, 2 BR Black ones, and the Southern one on the end there. Then we have another Johnson/Dealey 3F there, which looks very nice in plain black. Then we have the saddle tank. I don't even know if it's based on a specific saddle tank. It looks a lot like a real life one, but I think it's mostly fictional, could be wrong. Then we have the 2721 pannier tank, I want to say, which is the very early Great Western Black one. 3 08 shunters, as you can see, one in a Southern Railways livery, which is interesting. And then 2 Triang dock shunters just there in red and in black. Time for some very slightly more modern tank engines then. On the far left we have 2 Hornby Ginties, then we have the older Hornby Terrier, then the E2, which is of course Thomas, a J50 from Hornby, the Webb coal tank. What is that? That's a J13, there we go, I hope it is. Another 2721, I think, if I got that right the first time. If not, then I've said 2 wrong at least. That's a slightly later one, but it's the same tooling, or made with the same tooling rather. But yes, slightly more modern paint job. Then that looks like an N2 from the front. Yep, that's the Hornby one, I think. M7 in the Southern Green. We have the E4, I think that one is, a Bachmann E4. Another J50, that's the modern Hornby one. Then we have the L1 and V3 tanks. From a distance, I think that's the L1, that's the V3. Please let me know if that's wrong. No, I'm pretty sure that's right. Then 2 more N7s, not M, N. N2s rather. No, I got that wrong. That one there is an N2. And these are N2s as well. We've had the N7. Yep, so they're the mainline ones. Then we have, that's the one I saw a minute ago on the trying shelf. That's the J83, but a more modern release of it. Then 2 Oxford Adams radial tanks in the BR Black and the EKR East Kent Railway lovely green. Then 2 more 14XX Great Western 042 tanks. There we go. Okay, next shelf has a mixture of tank and tender engines on it. So we'll start on the left again with the Hornby J94, the Bachmann 56XX, or that might even be so early as to be mainline, but Bachmann got their hands on it in the end. Then we have the Stanier tank, there we are, Stanier Class 4, different from the Fowler one of course. Then we have the large Prairie, the 6100 class, not the new one or anything, it's just the old Airfix / Hornby one. Then we have that, which is the Great Western 72XX, the biggest tank engine I've ever seen in my life. Then the L&YR Class 5, another Fowler Class 4, an older one. The Sentinel diesel, there we are. The IVAC Class 2 in the BR green. The D11 in the Great Central original pre-grouping livery, and the D11 in the BR black. Then the City Class in the Great Western khaki. Two T9s, that's the, well, they're both actually, well, that one's British Railways green, but it's still in the Southern colours, and that one is Southern black. Then I think is that going to be the 2P? Yeah, it looked like a Midland, but no, that's the Hornby 2P next to that. Two D16s, there we are, in the L&ER black and the L&ER green. The Duke Dog, Bachmann Duke Dog in Great Western green. The 2P, let's make sure these are in focus again, the S&DJR 2P, and on the very end there we have the Schooled class in the Southern green, Malachite green, or Malachite. Next shelf then is tender engines once again. On the end we have the Airfix Royal Scot. Quite a lot of people ask about it, but yeah, it's a bit rubbish to be honest with you, or rather mine is, because it falls apart, the tender body doesn't stay on, the loco body's coming apart, and it doesn't run that great anymore, so yes, not sure what to do with that one. Then we have the S15, very lovely, the B17 Gilwell Park, the BR Black Weathered Crab, the IVAT Class 4 tender engine, as you can see. Jubilee class, that's going to be a standard class 5 or a standard class 4. I'll cheat and look at the side of the cab. It's a standard class 4, there we go. The Schools class, again, that one's in the BR black, white cab, as you can see, which suggests it was pulling the Royal train at some point. Then the standard class 5, which looks so similar to the standard class 4 in BR black. The Raven Q6, let me just, yep, double check, that is the Raven Q6. Then what's that one? That's the Stanier Mogul, I believe. Yep, we got that in shot. That's the Stanier Mogul. A B12, K3, I think that one is. Is that K3? I hope so. Then we have the Lord Nelson. Let's come around the other side, shall we? Oh, maybe that's going to cover the light. No, let's stay where I was. Lord Nelson, just there. G2A, very interesting. 080, that one. A Patriot, a 2800 class, or 28XX, whatever you want to call it. Then we have the Midland Compound, which I wanted to say earlier, wrongly, so there's that. And what's that one on the end there? That looks like the Great Western ROD 280. There we are. Okay, let's get some more vintage locos done then. There are some diesels and electrics on this table, but I'll show those in the next instalment. So, far end we have the 8F, these are all Wren, as I say. The 8F, the Princess Coronations, all three of those. The two Castle class, off the top of my head, it's Cardiff Castle and Windsor Castle. There you have it. Two A4s, we've got Mallard and Golden Eagle again, probably my favourite pair. A West Country class, that's Plymouth, very, very rare that one. That's quite a special model. Two more West Country classes, rebuilt, of course, in rebuilt form. Barnstaple and Lyme Regis, yeah, had to cheat, it's Lyme Regis. Two of the standard class 4 tanks, I think they're class 4, might have been 3, not in prototypical liveries as well, which does throw you sometimes. Two more N2s, as you can see, the very old Hornby Dublo tooled versions, and then we have the R1, a lovely southern pre-grouping, in fact, but this is the southern version of the R1, very nice. Okay, so next we have engines on this table which have an abnormal size / don't fit on any other shelf. So we have the Canadian Pacific there, we have the Hudson just there next to it, the GS4 Daylight, which is the orange, bizarrely coloured one, very nice. That one is a standard class 5 in BR green behind it. We have the LMR, I think it is, yeah, the Longmoor Military Railway War Department 280, I think it was. Then next to that we have the H1 Atlantic, which I very much enjoy, that one's great. Then we have that weird sort of French loco, which I don't really know very much about. The Railroad B1, that one's Liverpool, I think it is. Then the good old Polar Express, the Berkshire, next to that. Gordon, of course, which was too big again to fit on the Thomas and Friends shelf. And then it's like a G3 or a G4, I think that is, at the back. Fleischmann, that one. And of course we have the Hornby Bill, I think it is, or it might be Ben. No, it's pretty sure it's Bill. And then the railgun, which of course is not an engine, but it is very large, so it sits on this table too. But I always wanted an excuse to show it some more, so there it is. I've still got it. So, shock horror, this next shelf actually has some order to it, or sort of. It's all 060 tender engines. So on the end we have the Bachmann Collet class there. Next to that, on the right of it, we have a C-Class in BR Black. Then we have the Dean Goods in the ROD khaki it is. The Great Western Dean Goods, Hornby Q1 just there. Then we have the 4F, which is that one, the Bachmann 4F. Another Q1, which these are all in various different liveries and different running numbers. J36 Maud next to that. Then we have the Midland Dealey / Johnson 3F, which is very nice. Another C-Class, that time with the green lining. The French SNCF 060, which is quite nice. There's a J15 next to that, which is the tiny one. Then we have another Drummond design, which is the 700 class. Hornby 4F, that one. And then the Bachmann J11, just on the end there. So next I'll show you some of my 040s, which bizarrely I keep in like strawberry containers, which keeps them smelling quite nice and sweet, I suppose. So a lot of these don't necessarily have classes. I'm sure some of them do, but most of them I just know by livery. So we have the LSWR one at the back. Then we have the Ugly Tank engine there, which got the name Gregsby in a Christmas special. Smoky Joe, of course, this one's Miles. This is the only engine I have that I can honestly say has done over 300 miles. And I call him Modified Miles now because he's got the solar power, the solar panel connector. So he's also a solar powered engine. Then we have one of the Triang 040s, and then Loch Ness, which is a Hornby 040, just like the Caledonian ones, but in a slightly different livery. The Southern one, that's the engine that ran underwater and won't run again because I buggered it up, but never mind. The Lord Westwood liveried 040, which is nice. The Great Western something or other, that's the, is it a Churchwood 040? Not sure, it was only one built in real life, I believe. Then we have an American one, not sure really about that, but it is an American one. Another Triang one there, that's a sort of blackish Triang one. Queen Mary, that's a Hornby one. The Santa's Express just there. This one, not sure what this one is. Oh no, that's Queen Elizabeth II. So which one was this? Oh, it was Queen Mary, yes. I didn't realise there were two queens. And another Caledonian one. That's probably, yeah, that's my first ever engine right there. Yes, lovely memories of that one. And very finally then, we are here on the Hornby Railroad shelf. So let's get to these then. So we have Gadwell, which was my first or second, can't remember which, I think first TTS Sound Loco. Mallard there, definitely my first Mallard, or A4, very lovely that. We have the Flying Scotsman, the Railroad Flying Scotsman, two more D49s, a more modern version of the one you already saw on one of the other shelves, but these have been upgraded to Loco Drive, of course. The first of three Railroad School class Locos I have, Midland Compounds, both LMS, but that one's maroon and that one's black, as you can obviously tell. County classes, two Great Western counties, County of Bedford, County of something or other. Let's have a look. Yep, it's Devon. There you are. And then another schools class on the end there. Then underneath we start with three diesels, but I've made a mental note to talk about those in the diesel video, so there you are. I'll talk about those next time. Then we have what is, I think, the county class just there. That one's Alton Hall, isn't it? We've already seen a Hall already, and that exact model, but in a different livery. Then we have Lady Godiva, which I don't think originally was a railroad loco. It came out in the 90s or 80s or something, but someone put a railroad chassis onto it, so that's what it's got. Then we have the loco, which presumably donated the chassis, or the same thing. That is also another Patriot, a rebuilt Patriot or something. Then we have the collection of 9Fs, or the first two. We have the standard 9F, well, they're all standard 9Fs, but the standard 9F, without any special boilers or anything in BR Black. Then next to that we have the Franco Crosty one, which of course does have the Franco Crosty boiler. That's why it's called the Franco Crosty one. And then we have the Black 5 there, the Hornby Railroad Black 5, which interestingly is the only Black 5 I have, which seems like a problem. But no, I love that. And then of course we have the two 9Fs here in the BR Green. We have the one, I don't know if I've ever mentioned this, but there was one, this very one in fact, this running number that I drove for my 21st birthday on the Great Central Railway. Yes, a little story for you there. I'll have to tell you that story sometime. I don't know if I've ever mentioned that. Perhaps I should mention it at some point. But yeah, that's the one I drove at some point. I will tell you the story about it. Let's stop this joke, shall we? And then, of course, Evening Star on the end, which you can always tell because it's got a slightly different coloured chimney. So there we go. That is the end of my collection of locos. There you go then, folks. That is the first 300 or so engines in my collection. I think 313 if I've been able to count correctly. Most of them Steam, I think enough to warrant or to justify calling the video my Steam collection, although of course yes, there were a few diesels mixed in. So let me know what you think, let me know if there were any favourites there, and stay tuned because in the next month or so, let's say, I will do the same thing but with all my diesels in the different cabinets. So thank you very much for watching, thank you for your continued support, for watching the videos. If you want to leave a comment, absolutely feel free to, obviously I do answer them all, and with that, once again, thanks for your time, and I will see you very, very soon. Alright, cheers everybody, have a good one.